Okay. Happy Tuesday, and welcome back to the book of Habakkuk, which is one of the key places in the Bible that the problem of evil gets addressed. I opened yesterday with a funny story about being on the wrong end of a practical joke, and I used that to say, sometimes we're on the wrong end of life, and sometimes it feels like we're the windshield and sometimes we're the bug, but most of the time we're the bug, and I asked, why do we ever have to be the bug? Like, why is there ever windshields that are mowing us down? So this question is the question that gets addressed in the book of Habakkuk, who is one of the minor prophets who wrote 3,000 years ago. He lived during the final decade of Israel's southern kingdom, just before her defeat and march into exile, and he is, or this book is, the focus of our study for now. So at the time that Habakkuk was writing, it was a time of idolatry, injustice, and suffering. It was also a time where Habakkuk saw the rising threat of Babylon. He didn't warn the people, though. He did something very unprophetic of him. So prophets were those people who were on the payroll to speak for God to the people. But he doesn't do that. Instead, he speaks to God on his own behalf and on behalf of the people. And for starters, he points out that Israel is doing a lot of things wrong, and nobody seems to be caring. None of the prophets, none of Israel's leaders are caring about the immorality and all the injustice and all the things that are going on with the southern 2.5 tribes that he is looking at, the tribes of Judah. Then he is going to shift his message and complain about something else. But let me read the first complaint that we get from Habakkuk to God. This is Habakkuk 1. He asks, how much longer, God, are you going to let things unfold? O Lord, how long shall I cry for help and you will not hear, or cry to you violence and you will not save? Why do you make me see iniquity? Why do you idly look at wrong? Destruction and violence are before me. Strife and contention arise. So the law is paralyzed and justice never goes forth. The wicked surround the righteous, so justice goes forth perverted. So Habakkuk's first complaint to God is, Israel is horrible. They're ignoring you. They're ignoring your law. As a result, there's all kinds of corruption and injustice and violence in the land. It's being tolerated by Israel's people, by Israel's leaders. Why does this go on? Habakkuk asks God, when are you going to do something about this? God then responds, Habakkuk 1, verses 5 through 11, saying that he knows about the corruption. He's got it under control. He is going to do something big. He is going to send the Babylonians to bring justice to Israel. This leads up the second thing that Habakkuk says to God, his second complaint, verses 12 through 17, in which Habakkuk says, are you kidding me? The Babylonians. The Jews are bad, and I'm complaining about the Jews. Yes, they're doing a lot of things wrong. But the Babylonians are worse. You cannot use the Babylonians to punish the Jews. That would be using even more corruption and violence. So he then says he's going to go up to the watchtower and he's going to stand watch, waiting to see whether or not God is going to show up and answer his question. And God then says to him, in essence, okay, Habakkuk, take out pen and paper. Let me explain to you what's going on. We'll pick up there tomorrow.